Now, earlier this week, we told you about the beautiful Accra J interchange and how some artists are contributing to making our city so beautiful. And we have one of them here with us. We're going to learn all about him, his drive for the arts, and his journey so far, as well as what we can all learn about the creative industry. And of course, he'll be doing some demonstrations for us as well. So throughout the conversation, if you have a question for him, let me know with the hashtag BreakfastDaily. If you want to reach us directly, the WhatsApp line is 0550-585-832. If you're outside Ghana, the country code is +233. So our guest is Kizito the Artist. He's an international artist. He's been in the industry for a very long time. And we're so glad to have you here with us, Kizito. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Very well. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. Now, can you tell us a bit about yourself and your work?
Okay. I'd say I'm an artist, like you rightly said. A young artist. Well, in terms of education, I went to Dziffa College. One of the best schools.
Shout out to you.
I know that's always a controversy. And then from there, I went to the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, where I further went ahead to do fine art. I majored in painting. I did a little bit of sculpture as well. Then after that, I worked for a while as a PRO for the Center for National Culture, Accra. Okay. And then I moved on to do my master's in management and administration in University of Ghana, and here am I still practicing
and beautifying the city for all of us. But at what point did you realize you had this skill and talent?
Very young. I can recall when I was in class 2 or 3, maybe when I was about 7 years old. Well, I mean, my parents had different notions about the art. My mom was actually a seamstress. Yeah, my dad was a businessman. So I used to look at the stuff that my mom used to do. So I was always bringing the pieces of fabrics together to create beautiful hangings. And I realized that I loved product design. So I could just look at a model of a car, and then I'll use maybe a curtain or something, and then put the papers together just to replicate what I see. Wow. That's where I realized that I love to design and create something out of nothing. So I was doing my own toys as a kid, and at least it saved my mom some money. So that's very tender age. I realized that I love to draw.
And at what point did you realize this is just some passion, but I'm going to pursue it as my life's purpose?
At a time where I had to choose between doing business in Dziffa College and visual art, I was actually accepted in Dziffa College as a business student. Okay. So first year, I was a business student. But before the semester, the term came to an end, I had to change it to visual art. I think that the passion was so much. I mean, it was not because I could not do the business, because I passed to do it. Yeah. But I still wanted to pursue the visual art. I saw myself going back to my drawings back in GHS, and I didn't feel satisfied. I wanted to be fulfilled. It was not too challenging because the assistant headmaster then for academics was like, okay, if that's what you want to do, go ahead. Wow. And I can recall days when I'm taking prizes, he'll go back to the narrative and talk about the fact that he came as a business student, he pursued his passion. So it was a good start for me. And due to some of our let's say, speech and prize giving day exhibitions, I saw how the other students from other reading other subjects were also very interested in the work. I mean, so in Adisco then, everybody knew me. I used to do the crest for my house, walls, and all that.
Wow. Yeah. So you really took advantage of your environment.
Exactly.
But did you know that you were going to go on to get your first degree in it and pursue it as a career?
I was not too sure because back then, it was not too easy to find.
It wasn't the most popular thing to do.
Yes, and it was not too easy to get connected to artists we read about. I mean, I was reading about Amon Kote and all these great icons, but I'd never met them. Yeah. I felt they were also not really celebrated, you know. So the picture you have was not very bright. It didn't push you. So I was still thinking about, okay, well, I like business courses. I mean, that's how come I still ended up there anyway. So I was thinking, okay, am I going to change when I go to the university or not? So I actually applied to do architecture. Okay. And then I was not taken. But I felt like, okay, why not? Just go ahead. So the next time I had the opportunity, I applied to do fine art, and then I was taken. And I didn't regret it at all.
What goes into the process of having a blank canvas and creating something out of the world on that canvas?
Okay, so I think that this question speaks to me as an artist. I see what people don't see. So what looks blank to people have so much depth when I see it, and I can just look at a blank orange color displayed, and I'm looking at the different interactions it has with its environment. Because if you place the same color on a different color, either the intensity will reduce or it will be higher, because everything we see has a way of affecting us or affecting the environment. So nothing is in a vacuum. So the same way when I see my canvas blur, I feel that whatever I'm about to project is already there. It's just in my mind's eye, and I'm quite playful with the way I start. You may not see what I'm doing.
We're looking at some of your pieces, actually. So I want you to walk me through some of the pieces. And then, of course, you demonstrate your work for us.
Okay.
So they are very colorful, actually.
Yeah.
So you play around a lot with colors.
Yeah.
But how do you start off with? Like, you just walk us through that process, or even this piece, for instance, that we're looking at.
So this piece is one of the award-winning pieces. I represented Ghana in the 18th International Festival of Art in Iran. Okay. And when I got to Iran, we went from different countries. I mean,
so you went all the way to Iran to represent Ghana?
Yes, I did.
Wow. And what did you have in mind that you were going to make? That
okay, so I was supposed to represent Ghana. And so, of course, I was looking at bringing out and projecting my culture as a Ghanaian. But as part of what we were supposed to do, there was supposed to be an outdoor painting, which was actually supposed to be the things that you have picked from their culture. I remember the consular for Iran, Ghana, was the one that mentored me before I went.
Wow.
But I was particularly interested in their architecture. So what I did was whenever we went to the tour in the town, I looked at the different architecture pieces, and then I brought it together in my colorful expression. Wow. In art, I would say that I'm a colorist. So
your pieces
I
speak
play with
for
colors.
Themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're going to show us something this morning.
Yeah.
What are we going to experience? Or do you want to tell us a bit before you do it?
Okay, so at least let me walk you through. Let me give you snippets.
And also the steps
that I'm going to take. Okay, so this is actually a blank canvas. Okay. And I've primed it. So it's like using quite a neutral color to block all the holes. The canvas is made up of fabric. Yes, and stretched. So
okay, so it's a stretched
fabric.
Okay, yes. So our viewers would come back on set to see what we're talking about soon, but you're still looking at some of your beautiful, colorful pieces. So we have Kizito here, and this is the blank canvas that's already stretched. So please go ahead.
Okay, so once you prime it, your canvas, and it's dry, your canvas is ready for use. Okay. It means that you can start doing painting your work. You also choose the sizes according to the scope of the work you want to do. Okay. This morning I want to try a very quick scene, a landscape scene. Okay. I'm trying to do a sunrise. Okay. So not very up, but now trying to come up.
So you have to be very specific about what you're about to do before you even start.
Exactly. You should imagine what you want to achieve in the end. In fact, in the process, things can change, but at least you should have an end in mind.
And the end should be fixed.
It should be. it's not necessarily fixed, but it should guide you.
So it should be clear enough so you know where you're heading.
Exactly.
Okay.
Then it informs the kind of colors you're going to choose. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and that's how come I tilted my painting, my canvas in this format.
Okay.
Because I mean, for a landscape, you need something wider. So this is like a landscape format. If I was doing a portrait, I would prefer to turn it the other way.
Okay. So, which colors are we playing with? And of course, again, guys, if you have any questions for him, don't forget to use the hashtag BreakfastDaily. And the WhatsApp line is 0550-585-832. If you're outside Ghana, the country code is +233. We're so proud of Kizito. I mean, if you've not been to the Akua J interchange, you are missing out. And they are contributing to just making Ghana such a beautiful place. And Accra, in particular, a very beautiful city. So there you see what's going on at the Akua J interchange. Artists just, contributing to making the space beautiful, making sure that the city is gorgeous. And today we're going to experience it for ourselves on the Breakfast Daily set. And his pieces are just amazing. And I'll ask him for his social media handle as well towards the end of the interview, so that if you want to purchase some of his pieces, you can go right there and buy, because we do need our creatives and we do value the contributions they make to our national development. And it's just colorful. I mean, imagine seeing some of this in your living room or your bedroom or your office. It just has a way of lightening up the entire space. So we're starting out with yellow.
Yes. So I'm trying to capture the sun in the background.
Ah, okay.
Yes, and I need, I'm very spontaneous. Because it's a set work, I want to use minimal water as possible.
Okay.
So it doesn't get too messy.
Feel free to get messy. we don't mind.
So my application will be thick.
Okay.
And in the end, my work is supposed to come up as an impasto work. When you pick your colors direct from the tubes or the...
So you're a lecturer as well?
Yes. I lectured briefly in some business courses.
Ah, okay. Actually, so it wasn't...
Yeah.
How do you merge the two? Because some artists struggle with the business side of things. So they're really creative, but as far as being strict on their price points and growing their craft as business people, sometimes they struggle.
That's very true. You see, because art itself, it's something that comes from within, sometimes it's very difficult to price it.
Yeah.
And it also depends on how people appreciate what you're doing. Everything has value depending on how people appreciate. And that's one reason that makes artists struggle to price the work. Because you see, you can meet somebody who really loves the work and is ready to give anything for it. You meet another person that thinks that, okay, why would you just smear colors on a piece of cloth and then you think I should pay so much? So it depends. But you see, professionally, if you're an artist, one of the things you should know is your value. Because your works would only appreciate depending on the value and the hard work you put in it. So at a point, you're not just selling your pieces, you're also selling what we call your brush name, which is your signature. That's what it means. I mean, you could... Benz is Benz because of the track record they have. And that's how come I cannot sell my work like how Professor Abladi Glover will sell, because of his track record and how much is put into his work and the kind of interactions and the write-up he's gained over the years. So, I mean, in as much as we are heading there and hoping to have our works selling for $50,000,
and millions.
We are still quite flexible and trying to give people the opportunity to own some pieces for
an affordable price, but the artists will also feel valued.
Exactly, and for special people. I think that it's good to give somebody a gift of an artwork. For me, nothing will be more profound in expressing your love and then to a loved one. If you are, because you see, art will not depreciate if the owner knows what.
It actually appreciates over time.
Exactly,
right?
It's like a land.
Yeah.
It will not, because you see, the same work you buy now would be sold for a higher price. In fact, the less the artist works, and the less a good artist works, the higher the prices will be. Because
it takes a lot,
exactly,
and
if
it's
an
unique.
artist is extinct now, his works will jump overnight because he's not available to paint more. It means that if you own a piece, nobody is going to have a similar one. He's not going to paint again.
Yeah.
And that's how come very iconic paintings like the Mona Lisa
are so expensive.
Are so expensive, yes. It's because they are no more. Ironically, most of them didn't
even benefit from the fruits of their labor.
They didn't earn much from all that they labored for.
So how does that motivate an up-and-coming artist, knowing that, you know, there's some level of delayed gratification in the entire process, so you shouldn't be so desperate that you sell yourself short?
It informs you to be hardworking.
Okay.
You don't give up because you can actually make it overnight. That's the truth. You could get a curator somewhere to put you up in a very high-profile exhibition. You could get a very good commission to work for a nation. It can just take a turn within a twinkle of an eye.
So these are the clouds that you're creating here.
Exactly, and I'm trying to fuse them into the sun in the background, so I'm doing some little blending there.
Okay.
I love my strokes because that is part of my expression.
Okay. And how do you feel as you're doing this? Like if you're in your zone, how's the creative process? Like you just block out from the rest of the world and you're just here. Walk us through that.
For me, art is my freedom of expression. This is where I find myself. I'm at my highest when I'm painting, and it's relaxing to me. For me, it's like engaging in your hobby, and then at the same time getting what you really want from it.
What's the longest time you've painted?
The longest time I've worked on an art piece. Okay, so that would be the biggest portrait I've done, and I did it. I did a portrait of Kwame Nkrumah. So it took me, let's say, approximately 6 months.
6 months?
Yeah, to finish that portrait. It's because it also went through some processes. I remember I kept changing it because there was something I wanted to talk. In fact, I titled that painting "The Maze of Nkrumah." It's very colorful.
The Maze. I mean, I think it's very popular. Everybody has seen it. It's
yeah.
all over. We'll find it and show our viewers.
Okay,
so The Maze of Nkrumah. Is that it?
Yeah, that's how big. And sometimes you can understand the scale when you see how small we look right before the painting. Yes, and you see, I was just exploring the ideas, the ideology of Nkrumah at his time. It was like a big puzzle. People were trying to
figure this guy out. Is he a politician? Is he a philosopher?
And so I was using my colors to express that same thoughts that were in the minds of people. Is it blue? Is it going to be green? Is it merging into pink and all that? Just so I'm using the colors to interpret how complex people felt about him and how he was thinking ahead of his time, and it took people some time to catch up.
Did you think it would take you 6 months when you started?
No, I knew it was the first time trying something of that scale, and I thought I could finish it in 2 weeks. But I kept on going and moving.
What keeps an artist going? Because most people would have just been like, listen, it's okay, people can see it's Nkrumah, let me call it a day. What's that thing within you that keeps
drive
you going?
For perfection. And when I say perfection in art, I'm not talking about photocopying exactly your reference, but bringing out exactly what is in your heart and mind to the viewer, as clear as it can be interpreted. So if an artist set out to let me just be a little set out to confuse the viewer.
Like you're doing right now, because we started out with the clouds. Now I'm seeing, what is it, lavender and red. I'm a little confused, but I'll be patient.
To see what happens next. That's fine. Yeah, but not many people are this patient. People are in a hurry to see what
what the end is. So we have some messages for you. I'll read them while you play with your colors there. Okay. I love the colors so far. Kizito is really great. I am so motivated by his works. Such great talent. This is coming from Eben from Kaswa. He even bears my name, Amate. Wow. I'm watching Kizito the Artist, and I love it. I'm a natural artist and want to showcase my work with Kizito. Okay. Hello, Dziffa. Good morning. Kizito the Artist is one of my pastors at Mana Mission Church, and I must say I'm very proud of how far he's come with his hard work, tenacity, and art prowess. I wasn't surprised when I found out he's the one behind the paintings at Akua J. He's one of the best, gentle and humble lad. Good job from Na Judith at Great Estate Teshi. Oh, we're glad you could share your gifts with us. How important is it for us as a people to create platforms for artists like you to flourish?
I think that it's rather motivating to hear such comment. Before, it looks as if those who drop out of school are those who engage in
the arts.
And sometimes they were not really appreciated, or most of the times they were not very much appreciated. But for example, what we are doing at Akua J, the truth is that we are almost about 50 artists.
50?
Yes, engaging in the project. We are doing it at different...
from all over, or mostly Ghanaians?
Mostly Ghanaians. In fact, every artist on board now is a Ghanaian. So,
wow.
The Ghana Association of Visual Artists, of which I'm an executive member,
okay.
Together with the Accra Art.org, approached the sector ministry as well as the creative art leadership about this concept. And for the first time, I can say that our dreams
have come true.
You
didn't have to struggle for them to get it.
And let me just quickly do this. Let me just acknowledge our president, Anon Hwain, for his support, and also Jankoma Akufado for fronting this and then taking this to where we are now. Yes, I have to.
Well, so we're looking at Akua J now, okay? So if you've not been, I mean, when you wake up in the morning and you're like, listen, I'm tired, or you're in traffic and you're like, I don't even know why I'm still in this hustle. And you just look up and you see this amazing work of art. It just has a way of making your life a little brighter, a little better, and you just get this assurance that there's still good in this country and there's still something worth celebrating. And I must commend you, Kizito, and all the artists in this country for not giving up on yourselves, because, I mean, it's not been easy. There were times when people will not appreciate your work. They will tell you they want to give you exposure. So to be able to get your pieces like this, and can you see what we're looking at? What is that one? Do you know who? Okay, so this is one of the projects by the Accra.org. Okay. And I know that this is actually engaging the public to have an idea of what is happening within Accra as a city, and then some of the indigenous culture that is going on. So actually, it's talking about the indigenous Accra people and their festive, the authentic
yes
parts of us as a people. Guys, please, you need to check it out. How do we scale this up and get the private sector involved? I mean, a lot of you go abroad to these art exhibitions and we see your work on social media, and always wondering, how do we get, beyond Chalewote to a point where exhibitions are a thing, and on weekends Ghanaians will go to an exhibition and buy a really great piece of art for their families and friends? I think it will all start from still appreciating the art. I think as a nation we should also begin to see the importance of art. I mean, even to tourism, its contribution to GDP and all that. We have not been able to, let me just use a
simple word, calculate the contribution of art.
Yeah.
And that is why I feel that it's taken us quite some time to explore that area. I mean, if you educate an artist, the artist is not a liability in any way to the government. He finishes school, just go into his studio, he's employed, self-employed. Even if he decides to engage other artists, one artist can decide to even employ 5 more people to work with. I mean, there are young people that I work with now, and these are people that, I mean, after school, they felt like, what is next? What can I do? And just because they can come to my studio, we can do a work together, at least their bills are paid.
Yeah. Wow. What are these? Tree branches?
Okay,
stems?
so...
Hope I got it right.
Yes, you did. And that's impressive. Not everybody will see what you just... Yeah. So sometimes I guess a lot of people go like, what are you doing?
So if they get it wrong, do you tell them, or you're like, maybe it's their interpretation, so let me allow them interpret it that way?
Art needs time. I'm not trying hard to finish this work on set, but you can easily see where the work is going.
Do you overly critique your work sometimes, where everybody's seeing it and they're satisfied, and you're like, no, I wanted to tweak this and add this?
I do. And
Why?
I think that's one of the things about artists. We are not too satisfied.
Why?
I think that it's because we always find out what we can do more. I remember sometimes I'd have my friends say that, are you not done with this piece? And I go like, oh, I see other things. So you see, whilst the branches are getting in the space of the sun, they will lose their intensity.
Okay.
So what I'm doing is that I'm tinting them so that, and then it also provide highlight to some of this. So once it starts moving in here, the intensity of the green will change.
Wow.
Because the sun is still rising and coming. So I'm not really depicting everything about the sun, but at least giving an impression of how we can see.
What should we expect from you this year?
This year, we have quite a number of exhibitions.
Okay.
I have a joint exhibition with the Ghana Association of Visual Artists, the Greater Accra chapter. The exhibition is coming up at the opening is on the 6th of March.
Oh, perfect.
At the Art Center.
Okay.
We want to revamp our own. We've done several exhibitions at different places, and we feel like it's time we go home. The Art Center has always been like our home, engaged us, giving us opportunities to exhibit our works, even when we could not pay in full. So I think this is the good time to give back to them and to appreciate them for what they've done.
So the 6th of March, we can catch you there.
Exactly. So exactly 6 p.m.
In
the evening, the opening is coming off, and you can catch us there.
And where do we follow you on social media in case someone wants to?
Okay, so on Instagram, I have 2 accounts. I have Kizito_Amate.
Okay.
And then I have one page exclusively for my art. That is the Saint Kizito Art Gallery. Now, my brush name is Saint Kizito. I mean, I chose it just because I wanted something that remains with me alone, and I felt like, okay, I've not seen anybody signing out Saint Kizito. I've never heard it. I wanted to leave it as that. So I'm trying to bring reflections to the tree, because once the sun is hitting this part, these are the parts that would receive that sunshine ray. So even though they are spontaneous, I'm thinking about everything I'm doing and just to bring out,
let it pop more. So you're going to put some more finishing touches.
Yes. So
so we'll go for a quick entertainment highlight video, but his Facebook, Instagram, social media page again is Saint Kizito. Okay, so if you want to see more of his work, go there, share it. Let's celebrate our own. Let's not wait till other people celebrate him and then we bring him back and blow him up. Okay, we need to do that now. So as you are watching this, if you're inspired, go to Saint Kizito on Instagram and buy a piece.
We hope you've enjoyed the show. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment, and share with your friends. This is Breakfast Daily on Citi TV.
Join the Breakfast Daily team Monday through Fridays from 7:30 a.m. to 10. Join us for breakfast daily, only on Citi TV.